if you want to create a digital course or are already working on creating a digital course, then this video is for you. This is a bird's eye view of my entire course process. So let's get into it. So up here at the top, we have a to-do list for each little section of the process. So not only is it the course, but it's also the funnel strategy, which is this section here, the entire funnel strategy. It is the email strategy. It is the upsells, downsells, lead magnets, literally everything. So we'll get right into it up here at the top. So for my course specifically, Legacy View is what it was called. This was basically, to give you an example, this was a course teaching fathers how to leave video memoirs for their children so that they could be passed down for generations. Just different ways to do that. So I had my to-do list here. As you can see, there's still one left, finish follow-up automations. So anything that I had to do as far as the course goes, I would have on this sticky note at the bottom. Next, we'll talk about leads. So I had all my to-do lists around leads. So if you don't know what leads are, how to get leads, basically you have paid and then you have organic. So paid ads or organic. Paid ads is basically you're spending money on social media, Meta or Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok or YouTube or something like that. Organic is you're creating content and posting it online on these social media platforms to try and get organic growth. They both cost you something. Organic is going to cost you a lot of time. Ads is going to cost you a little bit of time and money. So whichever strategy you want to roll with, I would say pick one and go all in on that. So for me, it was paid ads. My to-do list was set up $1 a day strategy, which is Dennis Yu's strategy, where you basically, create content organically, but then you put $1 behind it, behind each piece to try to see what gets the most engagement. And then from there, you kind of tweak and optimize it. And you go all in on those things that are working the best. So anyways, this is your to-do list for that. There's tons of things you can do. Organic posts, try to go viral, things like that. So there's different strategies there. Next is the to-do list for your all email list, which is going to be like your entire list. So that's going to be like your value, almost like a newsletter kind of strategy, because if it's your entire list, that means you've got buyers, you've got not buyers, you've got people that almost buy, you got people that are thinking about buying, you got people that have no interest. So it's kind of like this all-encompassing list. And so you want to speak to them in a certain way. It's more just giving value. It's kind of like once you own that lead, that's your way of just creating content for them. And then they get it in their direct inbox. So that's kind of the strategy around the all email list. As you can see, Pat at Legacy View, I needed to get that 100% ready to go. So this is your to-do list for that. Next, I had a buyer's list. So again, you're going to speak to this list differently than you would the all list because these people have purchased. Now, you want to segment your email list as much as possible. I do this inside of Go High Level. As you can see over here, Go High Level. Basically, you can set it up to where you're segmenting out your entire list, but then from there you've got little buckets, as I like to call them, where you got your buyers list, but then you have your buyers list of what exactly did they buy? A lead magnet? Did they buy your course? Did they buy your upsell? So you could segment that out as well. And then the people that put their for example, abandoned cart sequence, this is basically people that put their credit card info in but then bounce for whatever reason. They got distracted, or they they decided they didn't want to do it at the last second or whatever. You're going to send them an email and saying, hey, you forgot something. It's not necessarily going to be the same message you send to the buyer. So you want to segment your email list out as much as possible because you're speaking to each list differently. Same thing here. Lead magnets. If you don't know what a lead magnet is, it's basically you've all seen them. They're checklists. They are SOPs. They are ebooks is a good one. So a lead magnet is basically just a way to collect a lead's information. So if I give you an ebook, I have to send it to your email, so I need your email to be able to send it to you. So you're going to give me your email in exchange for the ebook, right? So the ebook is a lead magnet, okay? So you want to segment out your email list for that as well, because a lot of the people that get your lead magnet aren't necessarily going to be buyers. So you want to keep communicating with them and trying to get them to purchase your product. Because if they're interested in your lead magnet, it should be something that, goes along with the product. So that's kind of my to-do list for the different segments. You can go way deeper than this, but this is a good start for sure. Next we have you'll have upsells and downsells, hopefully. So the difference between a funnel and a website is, a website you can go on, and they got the home button, they've got the contact us, the about, the blogs, the products, the services, whatever. Literally anything you want to know, it's on there. A funnel is one product, one service, one offer, one message to one certain type of people, right? So mine would be, fathers looking to leave a legacy for their children, right? That is my message for that funnel. Now, since we're here, I'll go ahead and get into the funnel. Let me zoom out a little bit. This is the funnel strategy here that I mapped out. So starting at the top, we want to get leads, right? Again, that's ads or organic, paid or organic. So the reason I have an X here is because I didn't quite have it all mapped out at the time of this video. So you want to have a strategy to get the leads. Now, where is this ad going? Okay, that's very important. So if you create an ad, I could create an ad right now saying, hey, I have this course, it's called Legacy View. Click the button below to learn more, whatever. Now, if they click the button and they go to my website, then it's not gonna be focused enough for them to make the purchase or whatever. They're gonna have to go find the button that says purchase, which could be on one of the tabs that isn't even on the home page. They're going to have to search around. They're probably going to get distracted because you have so many things that you're talking about on your website. Whereas if I said, hey, I have this course, Legacy View, today only, it's $297. Click the link below to learn more, and then they go to this page. Great. At least now you're speaking to them. The problem with that is you're going to have a lot of people that go to this course page, and they're not going to want to buy the course because they don't know you, they've never seen you. $297 might be a lot for them at this point. So it's good to add a lead magnet in between the course page and the ad. So instead of making your ad or your content, pushing directly to the course for $297, then you want to push it to a lead magnet. So this is where the funnel strategy comes in. Your ad is on, let's say Facebook, for example. They see it. You say, hey, I have this ebook teaching you XYZ. Today only it's, $3 or whatever, or $1 or $7 or whatever it is. Well then, okay, boom, you push them to that page that's only talking about this ebook, right? Okay, so now that lead magnet has its own page. This 12 Questions for Dad can have its own page. Each of these lead magnets could have their own page, and you're sending your ads or your content to these pages, and it could be a very simple page like, hey, put your name and email in. Where should we send the ebook? Boom, it's yours. That kind of thing. Now you're collecting all these leads to your all email list, and then from there you're pushing all of these leads to, let's go ahead and make it go to here, because now you're pushing all of those leads back to here, right? So let's just do it like right there. Okay, so you're collecting leads, pushing them back to your course page. Now you've got this content, like this circle of it's like this strategy triangle. Like you're getting leads, giving them lead magnets, collecting their email addresses, and that's constantly growing. You want that constantly growing. Then from there, once they buy the ebook or collect the ebook or whatever, they immediately will go to this course page. Now, if they've purchased an ebook, that means they've already put their credit card info in, and they spent $3 or $4 or $7 or whatever it is. Now, once they go to this course page, the beauty of a funnel is they don't have to put their info in again. They just say if they want it, yes or no, and it'll automatically charge them if they say yes, right? So let's continue down the yes path. So it will go here, boom, they said yes. They'll immediately get an email for their course, for their login, and then from there, as that's getting sent to their login, they are getting redirected to an upsell page. So for me personally, the upsell page was, okay, you got the course, congratulations. I'd love to meet you. I'd love to hear your story, and I'd love to see if I can help you do this on a professional level. If that's something that interests you, then click the button below and book a call. So for me, the upsell was trying to get them on a call. I wasn't necessarily giving them a price of anything. I wasn't telling them, hey, this is a $10,000 product or whatever. Do you want it, yes or no? This is a host a call now. If they say yes and book a call, then I am meeting them face-to-face over Zoom. Okay? So the beauty of that is now I get to see their situation. I get to hear where they're at. Let's say they are, a grandfather and they have, 50 grandchildren and 7 children or whatever, and they're at the end of their life and they want to, make a huge impact and really leave something behind. Then I get to learn their story and hear about that and offer to them and say, hey, look, we can do this on a professional level. I can come to you with my team, my full production team. We can do almost like a Netflix style documentary, get all of these videos recorded in a couple of days. I'll get to film you in your setting, go over your life, the books you read, catch you in your element, those kinds of things, interacting with your wife or just whatever the case may be, and do it at a very high level. Now they've got their own high-end documentary, and I get to pitch that at, whatever I feel is necessary for the call, rather than saying, hey, this is a cookie-cutter product, it's $10,000 or whatever, because honestly, with production, depending on where you go, it could get really expensive really fast. So anyways, that was my strategy. They got the course, great. They can do it themselves. They learn all about it. I give everything away in the course. But if they want me to help them do it faster, do it professionally, then that's where that comes into play. All right, so let's say they are on the course page, and they see the $297 upsell. They just bought an ebook for $7. It teaches them what's in the course, but the course, shows you how to do it. They say no to that. Well, then you can do what's called a downsell. Okay, so it'll go to a page. It'll say, hey, before you go, I understand the $297 might be, a lot right now. I get it. For one time, since you're here, I'll give you the course weekly. I'll send you one lesson per week for $37 a week. It'll still teach you everything. It'll just be stretched out over time. And I'd even get on a call with you once a week to help you implement it. So if that's something you'd be interested in, then, click the link below and you can get access to that right away. So let's say they say yes, boom, they're going to go right back into this where they come up here to the book a call page, right? So it kind of links back to that. If they say no, it's okay. It's like, okay, great. Thank you for purchasing the ebook. And then you basically just let them go. From there, if they said no to both, basically all of your emails now are back to this circle. You're trying to give them new lead magnets. So you might send them the 12 questions for dad. You might send them the farewell message page. You're sending them back to these new pages, trying to get them more integrated into your product. So the more that they consume of all this value, you're basically, every time you're pushing them back to the course page, back to the course page, back to the course page. So this is like the main product, right? This is the main product, the course page. So everything else is complementary to that. And then once they go through that process, you're trying to get them ultimately on the big sale. So you're going to have a percentage of people that come through as a lead. You know, they're not going to want a lead magnet. Maybe they clicked or whatever. Maybe they put in their info. You hit them with the abandoned cart sequence. And again, it's just a constant cycle of this top level stuff, putting out more content, putting out more ads, pushing them to these lead magnets, and then back to the course page. So that's kind of like the overarching strategy. Now, once they get into these different programs, you want to map that out as well. So for me, the course was, this is the downsell. So the weekly coaching and the course drip right here was, I'd send them the introduction video, which is like an overarching video of how the course is going to go, how they need to go through it. I explain, how each level kind of builds upon the last. And then I'll send them the next video the next week, which is I call the Core 4. And then I go into what I call daily deposits, and then autobiography, and then so on and so forth. And by the end of it, this last one is kind of one last push to get them into the exclusive. So it's one last push to try to get them into the exclusive, because now they've actually went through the whole course. They see how it actually is, and it's one more offer to say, hey, we can still get this done professionally if you're interested. So from there, they'll also go into what's called a course group. So this is everyone who's involved in your course. You want them to be grouped together so that they can complement each other's journey. They can talk about where they're at. They can tell their stories. They can share, their successes. They can share their issues maybe that they might have. So you want that course group to be created as well, because then you could also go in there and give updates. If you made new videos or new updates to the course or whatever, you can also stay in communication with them in there. And then again, in the course group, you're constantly pushing towards the Legacy View exclusive as well. And then you kind of got a little bit of a group identity thing going where, you can talk about people that have upgraded to the Legacy View exclusive, and then it kind of creates its own culture of growth, because now people are all wanting to get it done at the highest level. So you're basically, this is like a full-blown strategy for, creating your course, creating your community, creating your, your whole funnel, your whole process, literally everything to try and grow. This is really a business. This whole thing right here is a business model. Over here, I just kind of laid out like what it would look like. This is just like a quick thing. So Legacy View course, they get the lessons, and again, pushing them to the Legacy View exclusive. If they do Legacy View exclusive, I had a virtual and an in-person offer. So I could do it over Zoom with them and help them set up their cameras and, kind of prompt them on questions and help them go through everything that way as well. And then the weekly thing, coaching, and then basically just promoting more lead magnets. And then they also get the course. Videos every week as well. So that is the bird's eye view. I did all of this in Go High Level, which is a software that you can literally do all of your emails, your funnel pages, your upsells, your downsells. You can even create the course community in there. You can host your course in there. You can do literally everything A to Z, all of your email sequences, your abandoned cart. Everything that I did was inside of Go High Level, which is really cool. If you'd like, I'm going to drop my affiliate link at the bottom. If you sign up through me to inside of Go High Level, I will personally offer you a one-to-one call with me, where I just see what you're up to, see what you're trying to create or what you've already created, and see if I can help you in any way. And I'll even help you with this process if you like. And we can learn together, we can grow together, and I'd love to meet you. So if this was helpful at all, leave, like and subscribe, do the whole thing. And I'm going to try to make more videos like this and just kind of give value where I can. So if you like this, let me know, and I'll see you in the next one.